So, last week there was a convention at my local city. I enjoyed myself thoroughly, I even dressed up. Here, I'm Kinga. That aside, at the convention there was indie showcases with the developers showing off their titles. I tried out a few, talked to the developers, but two games popped out to me. One that isn't released yet, but it will most definitely be talked about. And will also be likely the most Australian video that I will ever make. I might even use my real voice in that one, from the sheer Australian power the game oozes. And Blood Reaver, the topic of today's video. The game has a lot of promise, but is most definitely not at that point just yet. So let's talk about it. Blood Reaver is a spiritual successor for Call of Duty Zombies, like Skir Ritual. It doesn't pretend that it's not. The UI is very BO3 inspired. The perks or fates in this game are similar, even using the same color schemes for the respective perks, like blue for quick revive or yellow for double tap. And they have their own ray gun, which I think is pretty cool. However, this game mixes it up with using their own blood system. Every match, you get your own loadout. This involves a lethal and two abilities that you can swap around prior to playing. You gain them by leveling up, which isn't too tall of an order. I got to level 19 in my first playthrough. It has some fun ways of mix and matching. Now, this may be something that future COD games have done, but I haven't played past Infinite Warfare, so I wouldn't really know. The only map currently is small but easily traversable. It isn't too confusing. I believe they could make the buyable walls and doors more obvious, rather than putting a gigantic X where it is. It kind of just breaks immersion, and also, they're pricey as hell, but for a small team, I gotta give them props. The map looks quite pretty, and while this game's equivalent of the Pack-a-Punch machine looks silly to me, I find it also charming, just like the demon designs, but I'll admit, at the same time, I wish they were, more intimidating, but we'll talk about that later. Let's talk positives first. I like how much they were able to replicate BO3's movement in this game so fluidly. With the slide jumping and stamina, it also helps that it's the fastest way to move in this game. Having special abilities inside the game's mystery nest is a cool way of getting people to visit the gambling machine. Reminds me of getting the Annihilator in Zombies Chronicles. And really, the style, while I still can't get over how goofy the Pack-a-Punch machine looks in this game, the whole hellscape with ominous monoliths pulsating with red energy, and how well the map flows, making it possible to train in most areas with relative ease, but those are the strong points. The rest come with some caveats. Let's start with a simple fact. As much as I respect everything the developers have done with their own flair for things, it's really hard not to compare this to just a custom map in Zombies. As this game continues to develop and we get more enemies, weapons, abilities, it will stand as its own thing, but as it stands right now, it's COD Zombies of Demons. The demons themselves aren't all that threatening either. I noticed while playing that they do their own attack animation before interacting with you, leaving them to whiff a large number of times while training. I didn't really have to run in most cases, they just wouldn't hit me due to that accidental oversight. The sprinters were the actual problem, but they were far and few between, including the special demons. The Chaos Demons were a real threat, with my only real nitpick is they come a little too early. But the explosive demons were barely around, which was a shame, because it was funny enough the demon that gave me the most trouble. I also think the demons need to be able to jump and climb ledges. There's a ramp near this game's version of Power, and you can kind of just loop it over and over, and the demons will go all the way around instead of jumping down. The trigger for the box to move is way too brutal as well. 3 spins and it's usually moving. It's not a problem on this map due to how small it is, but in future maps it might become exhausting, especially with how important specialist items are for higher rounds. Some weapons lack a level of oomph. Some feel real nice like the shotguns, but others just feel dry. However, my biggest gripe is how little the game tells you. For the most part, you go into the menu and you simply just drop in. I noticed it the first time I tried the game out, but really, the game expects you to know what you're playing before it even starts. Some sort of directory would be nice to show you weapons, fates, types of upgrades you can get when repacking weapons, and even types of demons. For the life of me, I still don't know what the devil does. The fate and cards look cool, but some don't convey what they actually do, as well as their COD zombie counterparts, at least in my opinion. But the good thing is that it'll improve. We know what their roadmap is, and talking to the developers face to face, they're really chill dudes who are passionate about what they're making. I mean, they rebuilt it from the ground up to support peer-to-peer. If that doesn't scream, I want to make a game people will enjoy, then I genuinely don't know what does. Overall, it's pretty rough around the edges, and that's to be expected for a game only out on early access for 2 months. But it's built on solid foundation. It has passionate developers, cool weapon designs, smart level design with shortcuts, open areas for looping, and honestly just charm. The demons are a little goofy, I'll admit, but it ultimately has the same fun gameplay loop that Zombies has, and for a rather low price. When they update the map later this year with a full Easter egg, new weapons and abilities, I would definitely recommend picking it up by the time this video is out. However, the sale will be over. But next sale? Keep an eye out. That's all I've got for this video, however. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, you know the drill. Like and subscribe. But most importantly, if you're watching this video, developers, you should be very proud of what you've created. Keep up the good work.